I'll be
5,
the kid that Zemo gives the candy to.
4, 3, 2, 1.
What's up, true believers, and welcome to episode 4 of the Marvel Mondays initiative here on the Penultimate Conquest. Today's topic is, of course, our discussion of episode 4 of the Falcon and Winter Soldier, titled The Whole World is Watching. So suit up, because we got quite a show for you today, and I mean that. I think this could possibly be our best show ever. So here we go. If you're watching on YouTube, please consider dropping us a like and a sub, and don't forget to hit that bell to get notifications for new shows, such like our video game show, the Penultimate Conquest podcast. That's really hard to say 5 times fast. Our TV and movies podcast, just like this one from the Cross Media Show, and our anime show, Anime Nation. For those of you who do not know my name, it's Eric Ginn, just one of your friendly neighborhood co-hosts, and with great power and great responsibility, it is my pleasure to introduce the agent of film as my co-host, Mr. Christian Macias. Christian, how are you doing?
Happy MLS is back week, everyone. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Timbers. Doing well, Eric. Excited to talk some Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I am too, my friend, but before we get into that discussion and introduce our guest host, let's get a little housekeeping in. Our community solo streams are continuing tonight as Tessa, aka Smash Bro, aka my lovely wife, continues fearing the old blood with her continuing stream of Bloodborne tonight at 9 o'clock Central Time. Anime Nation continues this Wednesday as Ryan and Vinny discuss, I'm going to butcher this, I know it, but I'm going to try it. Is it Mushoku Tensei?
I believe
Is
it's
that right?
Mushiko Tensei.
Okay, thank you, Ruben. That's why we have you here, Mr. Anime. Jobless reincarnation. They're discuss that stuff. So that's really exciting. And tomorrow, Cross Media Show is going to be discussing Disney Plus premiere problems, Netflix buying out the Knives Out sequels, and the Suicide Squad trailer. But this is our Marvel show. So let's get into it by...
Eric is gone.
Oh.
Yeah, Eric just did.
He is the host of the Players Club. You can find him being at the forefront of all knowledge on the frontier. This includes Pilots, Titans, and Apex Legends. Give it up for I tongue-tied there. Give it up for Mr. Emmett Watkins Jr. Emmett, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I am feeling great. I'm ready to crack into this episode like a Slim Jim. And yeah, I'm still playing Winter Soldier's right arm. For all inquiries, let me know.
I believe I just lost audio. Oh no.
Okay, there we are.
I lost everyone's audio. I'm going to
God.
picture that Emmett just said that he is the greatest Apex Legends player in the history of the known universe.
Good God. I am better at
So,
Titanfall 2 than
oh my God,
Apex
give me
Legends, but
1
I'm
second.
getting
I'll
there.
right back. Christian, take it away while I'm gone.
Yes, sir. I don't know where your intros are. Where are we?
This
Our
is
next guest
great.
is a
This
writer
is
and
great.
host. He's a rising star in the video games industry. This man's heart is his guiding key. Please welcome to the show,
That's great.
Mr. Cameron Hawkins. How you doing, buddy?
That's a good intro. I'm doing good. I'm ready to talk about this episode because I was talking to some other friends about this episode for 2 hours last night, and I was just like, "Oh, I get to talk about this tomorrow on a podcast." I'm super excited. So a lot to talk about. There's a lot to unpack in this episode for sure.
Absolutely. This may be the best episode of the show so far. I'm just saying. And
I
our
can
last
catch that vibe.
Yeah. You back, buddy?
I am back. Did we talk about how Cameron's heart is his guiding key?
We did.
Indeed.
We talked about that. Good job. Okay. All right. Thank you, Christian. Don't know what happened there. And our last guest, rounding out our trio here, is a co-host of the weekly PlayStation podcast, The Trophy Room, and is a co-founder of SixOneIndie, a site dedicated to highlighting wonderful indie games. When he's not rooting for the Mets, he's here with us. Put your hands together for Mr. Kyle Stevenson.
Can we stop acting like Turkish delights are a good thing? Can we please? They're
Oh,
not good.
Wait, so that's
I've
what
never
that
had 'em.
actual candy's name is? Because I thought it was just like a thing he called it.
No, I think those are actually what those
Uh,
are.
I've never heard
those
of
suck.
those in my entire life. I was like, okay,
They're
Tilda
like
Swinton tried to sell me those in Chronicles of
maybe it's an
Narnia,
East
and
Coast
nope.
thing. Maybe it's an East Coast thing.
it's just trash. They're like the strawberry candies your grandmother would have, but worse.
Mhm.
Those are good,
We-
man. What are you talking about?
No,
They
the
do-
strawberry candies are like
Yeah.
sometimes they hit, but most of the time they don't.
Mm,
But like
mhm.
Turkish delights never hit. That's
Yeah.
what it
See,
is.
see, for me, it looked like they were like square caramels. I was like, ooh, those look good.
Nah,
Thank
they're
you.
like Smarties in caramel form. It's not what you want.
It's not great.
It's
No, that doesn't sound good.
exactly. Way howdy.
Well, anyway, we introduced our guest here, and I'm so happy you guys are here. I know I tried to sound like really podcasty right there, but you three are three of the greatest people on Twitter. I just got to say that. I love all of y'all's tweets.
Yep.
You're all so positive, so energetic, and we are lucky to have you guys here. So,
Thanks
with
for
that,
having
we
us.
have a few
Yeah.
icebreaker questions for you guys with all of our
Okay.
new guests on our shows. So, Emmett, we're going to start with you. What is your favorite Marvel movie?
Oh, he's frozen.
Oh,
no!
Classic.
Classic.
This
Oh,
thing is thinking
no.
real hard.
Oh man, that's like a perfect freeze frame.
That
Wow.
There we go.
We didn't hear any of that. You
right.
froze, dude. You froze.
That's incredible. That was just really poor timing. You want to know my favorite MCU movie? Is it strictly MCU or just anything Marvel?
It could
That's
be
what I want to
anything.
ask.
It could be anything Marvel.
Oh, that
All
changes
right.
things. Yeah, that definitely changes
Oh,
things.
I know your answer,
You
Cameron.
know my answer because I preach it to the fucking heavens. You know. Okay, we can swear on this podcast, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
It's the internet. Fuck it. I would say MCU speaking is definitely Spider-Man Homecoming. Still over Far From Home. That is my favorite thing. But if we're
I
talking
agree.
generally, I'd probably say Into the Spider-Verse. Even though that's like such a layup of an answer. But hey, man, literally the dynamic between the main character and my dad, it is my dad. So
That's
it's
actually
almost directly there.
that's actually really interesting that you say that because like it was the exact opposite for me. Like I could not relate
Huh.
to the relationship between because my dad was also like he wasn't a police officer but he was a serviceman.
Yeah.
So like it was just one of those things where like we definitely had not a great relationship growing up. And so I was just like, I just can't vibe with this. This is not realistic for me, which is a big reason why I don't like Spider-Verse as much as other people. But I still think that the movie's gorgeous, like the animation's great, and I think it's a pretty good. Like I think the story's pretty good.
Yeah. So yeah, good stuff. But Homecoming's also great. Homecoming, I sobbed for like 2 hours after watching that. That just affected me emotionally. I still couldn't tell you why, even though that movie's great. I don't know why I just lost my mind about it. But yeah, I love me some Spider-Man, clearly.
I was gonna say, I
Still,
think Emmett likes Spider-Man.
Yeah.
still the best twist in the MCU is
Amen
the
to
Vulture
that.
twist. Yeah. So,
Yeah, man.
all right,
Big whipping all day.
Cameron, why don't you tell the world what we already know and what is your favorite Marvel movie?
I mean, okay, well, my favorite MCU movie is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Don't say it.
I watched that movie recently, and that movie still holds up completely. Like, it's great. It's a great one-off film as well. Um, and my favorite Marvel movie, like, period, Spider-Man 2. It is 100% Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
I disagree, but I respect the hell out of
Yeah,
that.
I respect
Like,
it.
Very
I
good.
can't tell you, like, because I know that a lot of people, like, all of us here, and then probably a lot of listeners are in the KF community. I can't tell you how angry I was when they were rewatching the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man films and they were just shitting on those movies. I was so furious. I'm like, I can't say anything because it doesn't matter because like I know that I'm in the minority. I know like that Eric, Ben, Logan, Moore, like we're all like the Spider-Man 2
Truthers.
yeah, we're the
It's
ones that preach.
Evangelists.
But like
it's
I
so
legitimately
good.
think it's the best Marvel movie, and I think it's honestly like again like if there was a Mount Rushmore of superhero films, I definitely think Spider-Man 2 should be on that list. I don't think we would get a lot of the movies we have today if it wasn't for Spider-Man 2.
I still
Agree.
tear up with that conversation he has with Aunt May about like when the kid said he wants to be Spider-Man.
Oh yeah,
And Spider-Man's like a hero, and he says, "Well, Spider-Man, he doesn't know what he wants to do anymore." And so it's just like, "Oh my god, this is so good." But yes,
yeah.
Spider-Man 2, we love you. Just know we love you here. Kyle, my
Yeah.
friend, what is your favorite Marvel movie?
God, this is such a hard question to answer because I pulled up my like letterbox list. I'm like, all right, Endgame's in the first spot because I love Endgame. Who doesn't really love Endgame? But when it comes to like solo movies, this might shock a lot of people. I fucking love Captain Marvel. Unabashedly,
Really?
I love Captain Marvel. I think Brie Larson killed it in that role. I think her performance is a lot more nuanced than people give her credit for. And there's a lot that is not spoken that she is acting out on screen that I think is just fantastic. And that's a pretty interesting and kind of fresh take on an origin for a character. I think I really enjoy that one a whole lot. But when it comes to like Marvel overall, not just MCU, shout out to Daredevil on Netflix. Man,
Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
come on.
I definitely think Daredevil like is the best show from a consistency standpoint, but I
Mhm.
would also say that the best of the Netflix MCU stuff is the first half of Luke Cage season 1.
Oh
Like
hell yes, hell
basically
yes.
everything with Cottonmouth until
Mhm.
spoilers, like wow.
Agreed.
Wow, what a good
Agreed.
Yeah,
show.
I respect that. It's no sex education, but I respect it.
It's so crazy how that show dropped off like after that first
After
half.
yeah, that first half, yeah.
It's
It makes
incredible.
me really sad. But
Kyle, I was,
now Mahershala he's
Mahershala
Blade
Ali.
now. He's Blade
Yeah.
now.
Yes.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? And that's like we
Can't wait.
win. We win.
I can't wait
Oh,
for
yeah.
this.
I can't wait. Can't wait.
Kyle, I was really worried because we were talking about MCU movies and he said Marvel movies. He said, I got to give it out to Daredevil. I'm like, oh no.
Oh no.
Ben Affleck?
Netflix specifically.
I mean, speaking of Blade, for some reason I thought you were about to say Blade Trinity because you had said Captain Marvel. So I'm like, what's the other non-MCU wild take he
Yeah.
could have? But hey, I respect it though.
The old school Captain America movie, like the one in the 60s or 70s.
That's
that one.
these are all great
My
movies.
God.
All right, here's our next one. What is your favorite Marvel character? Emmett, we're gonna start with you.
Ooh, okay. Here we are. Back at me again. God. I know this is like the actor who portrayed her is kind of on some thin ice right now, but God, if I didn't love Shuri from Black Panther. I love Shuri so fucking much. She just has this like little like mischievous little sister vibe, but she's also old enough to like feel like she's independent, feel like she's doing her own thing, and she's not just connected to Black Panther. I just loved her character so much, and hopefully the actress can chill the fuck out so she can be in the
Yeah.
next movie. Oh boy.
I'm looking it up right now. I'm like, what are you talking about? What did she do? And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, that it was a whole bunch of shit from like last year, but I don't know.
yeah.
We'll see what
No, I
happens.
think I remember that now
Yeah.
coming up. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Boy, howdy.
The second. Sorry,
Mhm.
go ahead.
No, Christian, you had an idea before I did. Go ahead.
No, the moment that Shuri made a Vine reference, I was like, "Yep, that's it. I'm in."
Yes.
Black
She was
Panther
like,
rules.
what are those? I was like, yes, please be my friend.
Yeah.
I'll never forget how much I laughed when like I called them sneakers. Sneakers
Alright.
because he's stealthy.
And that's the type of humor I would have. That's why I fuck with her
Yeah.
so heavy. So yeah, she's great.
Cameron, what is your favorite Marvel character?
So Marvel in general. So I'm way more of a DC person than I am Marvel. Like I don't really mess with the comics that much. It's really just films that I really like with Marvel. So I would say like just from a general standpoint, I would say Spider-Man because I think that Spider-Man is like DC's Batman. Like it has the Rogue Gallery, right? The Rogue Gallery is like kind of what builds Spider-Man into like a higher character for me. Like I still think Spider-Man is still like Peter Parker Spider-Man specifically. I think Peter does have an interesting character, and I think that there are because there's like this argument that like oh, like which character plays Peter the worst? And like if you go the comics I have read, like there's so many different interpretations of Peter Parker, then like shut up. Like you know what I mean? Like for me, it just depends on which one you vibe with the most. So like for me, that was Tobey Maguire. Like I get why people don't like Tobey Maguire, but I really resonated with Tobey Maguire's. So in that case, it would definitely be Spider-Man. In the MCU, originally it was Thor, but then like Thor's movies started being trash. And and I still like Thor and Thor Ragnarok, but I would say just like overall, it's 100% Captain America at this point. Like I had
Nice.
I had no like
John
interest
Walker,
in
right?
Captain America
Yeah,
as a
John
character.
Walker's his favorite.
I had no interest as like in his character. The first time I watched First Avenger, I really didn't like it, and then when I rewatched it, I loved it, and now I think it's like one of the most underrated MCU films. Like it's personally like I think in my top 8 or 10 MCU films. And
Same.
I think that like just the entire all of his movies are great. Like I think all of his movies are great, and just like his character development to the end of Endgame, uh, has been phenomenal. Like again, like I brought this up in a conversation I had yesterday, but like if I could have like one piece of like Marvel whatever it would be Cap Shield. That like at this point, like that's what I want. Like I want Cap Shield on my back wall or something like that at some point. It's just I love like Chris Evans just really nailed that role.
Oh yeah, no cap.
Mr. Stevenson, who is your favorite Marvel character?
Without sounding like a broken record, I echo Cam's sentiments completely. Captain America is my favorite because of the MCU. I also don't have a whole lot of ties to the comic book origins of them, but what Chris Evans did as Cap just blew me away, and I love that character so freaking much. And just shout out to the Hulk. I like big guys doing big things, and so like any big dude that's on screen wrecking shop, I'm into.
Nice.
I
Yeah.
respect that.
I just feel like that at the end of every Captain America movie, when I watch it, I'm just like, oh, it's over. Like I want more. Even though you've seen this movie over and over again, like
Yeah,
just like that last monologue, like letter to Tony, and he just comes out of the shadows. He's like, I'll be there, and it just cuts. I'm like, fuck, man. Let's go.
I mean, like in Civil War, like they're supposed to have you like be on the fence, right? Team Cap, Team Iron Man.
Oh, I was
the entire
100%
movie. I
Team
was like,
Cap.
it's Team Cap all the
100%
way.
Team Cap. Yeah,
I may see it, but no.
we're not.
What
yeah,
a great segue, Kyle.
What
that's
great
that's a
stuff.
whole different
Perfect.
podcast. We're
So,
definitely like
we-
at some point, like if
No,
y'all wanna
no.
do if y'all want to do like a Team Cap versus Team
Hold
Iron Man,
on.
like
Hold
Civil
on,
War
Cameron.
podcast.
Hold that thought.
It's coming.
So, our final icebreaker question. Just a quick one. Just a
Oh,
quick
shit.
one, real quick, before we get started. Are you Team Cap or are you Team Iron Man?
If you're Team Iron Man, you're fucking just factually wrong. I'm sorry. Like, here's the thing that I think that's interesting about how I perceive Civil War, though. That I don't think a lot of people see it this way, but I see Captain America: Civil War as a Captain America film that has an Iron Man story. Like I think that it's like it focuses on, it does focus on Tony more in my eyes more than Cap. It's just like we're just in Cap's shoes, if that makes sense. Like not, and it's one of those things like I feel like it's kind of a different. It kind of like turns the structure of like general stories, like there's the main protagonist and then there's the antagonist, or like things like that, and kind of flips it on its head. Because I'm just like, well, like I don't think like Tony is the antagonist, but I also don't think he's the protagonist either. But I think everything does revolve around him. Like he's like everything starts because of what he does. Like, and I don't know. I think that it's a really interesting perspective, and I try and like every time I watch Civil War, and this is probably a reason why like I like to watch Civil War more than I like to watch Winter Soldier, even though I think Winter Soldier is just a better film, is that like
Agreed.
I always feel like I get something new out of Civil War when I watch it. I feel like there's like something that I didn't see the first time, or something that like I might be like, you know what, I see that in a different light this time, and feel differently about this thing or that thing or the other. That I think that Civil War is a really, really fascinating film from a just filmmaking perspective and a story perspective, especially for superheroes. So, but yeah, Team Cap.
All right, we got Cam's answer. Emmett, what about you?
I mean, I feel like I have to say Team Cap just so I'm not left out of the room.
What's your argument for Team Iron Man? I want to know.
I don't have it. I don't have an argument for Team Iron Man, because now I'm thinking about it, the way that you're describing Civil War, I'm like, damn, when's the last time I saw that movie? And I was like, oh wait, in theaters. So, yeah, I think Team Cap. The thing that sits wrong with me with Team Cap is like, damn, you killed his parents, and you were just gonna like chill with that, like you're just gonna cover that up. So I'm like, I wouldn't support that, but overall, like I do support the whole idea of like, all right, let's take these shackles off so we can do the good shit, because it's all about, because America does have a long history where it's like a few good men can do whatever we need to, and they need less restrictions. Well, it's like, well, a few good men aren't always good men. But in the case of Captain America, I can trust that he's a good man. In the case of even Iron Man and a lot of the gallery of heroes, I can believe that. But like, if this was real life, I'd be Team Iron Man. I don't trust humans.
Thank you. Yes.
No,
Yeah.
no.
That's
In
why
this
Civil War is
idealized
so
world,
good. Yes.
yeah. In
We're
an
gonna-
idealized world, then Cap's fine. But nah, Iron Man was right if this was real
We're
life.
gonna be talking about America a lot in this episode.
All of his
Yes.
decisions were based off of emotion, not logic, which is no.
But he came to a logical choice through those emotions.
Even
but hey,
even in the movie, like once like everyone gets arrested and he goes to the raft, he's like, you can tell he's just like, maybe I fucked up here, maybe I was wrong, and you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
the film does it itself. Like,
Yeah,
like
Cameron may have a good idea. We
Huh?
may need to do a Civil War podcast one day and see
Absolutely.
how that goes.
Yeah,
So,
that would be
Absolutely.
really, really fun.
Kyle,
Yeah.
what is your? Are you? What are you? Team Cap or Team Iron Man?
Team Cap.
Okay. All right.
100%.
That's all. It's
Kyle, short and
right
sweet.
there.
Short and sweet, yeah.
So, speaking of Captain America, it is time to get into this episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier. And boy, is it just oof. That's all I can say. That's a one-word review right there. Just oof. There's
More
a lot
like
going on
Captain
here.
America.
Right.
Nice.
So, how this is going to go, guys, is we're going to break it down scene by scene, and then we're going to discuss what happens. We're going to take like the big points, and then we're going to discuss what goes on. So first off, the beginning of the episode takes us back about 5-6 years into Bucky's time in Wakanda. Io, am I pronouncing it correctly? Io?
Yeah,
Io?
yeah. Pretty sure it's
Io
not
is
AO.
Yeah.
Ayo.
Io is helping rehabilitate him, which includes attempting to trigger his Winter Soldier protocol. Despite memories of all the harm he caused flashing before his eyes, Bucky restrains himself, tears pouring from his face. Io tells him, "You are free," officially turning him into the White Wolf. Flash forward to present day, and Io is upset that Bucky freed Zemo and has given him 8 hours before the Dora Milaje come to take him. And what a powerful opening scene.
Yeah, I think my favorite part
Mhm.
about this is during the scene where Io, either or.
Io.
When
Io.
Io, thank you.
Io.
I'll try to remember that. Where
Yeah,
Io
like
is
interactive.
Thank you. Oh, that's perfect. When Io is going through the trigger words with Bucky, right? And Bucky's feeling all that pain. And he looks at her once, like before the last word, like, don't do this. And then afterwards, when she says it like, you're safe now, for the second time, he just breaks down in tears. Like, what a performance with 0 words.
Yeah.
Like, you could
Mhm.
feel and see the relief come off of Bucky's shoulders at that point.
Oh,
Yeah.
most definitely. Cameron, what did you think about the scene?
I mean, yeah, it's one of those things where when because like back when they got Zemo out of prison, which, man, what an entrance for Zemo. It was just in the shadows, the words so good. Anyway, and he's just like, it doesn't, like, you can't control me anymore, like that type of thing. I was just like, oh yeah, like they like Wakanda, like something happened in Wakanda, or like he just got over it or something like that. But like they actually like dedicate a scene to this, like they which I did not expect. So but I thought it was a really good scene, and it gives more exposition for Bucky, because like for me, I feel like this will probably be something that will be I'll ongoingly bring up throughout the discussion, but I think that Bucky has been super underutilized in the MCU,
Yes.
and I just want him to have like a real place that's not, hopefully not just like a support character that shows up every now and then and like helps out. I think that Bucky deserves more than that, but yeah.
I mean, what
I
about
agree.
you? What did you think
Yeah.
about this episode?
I mean, I think Bucky has been underutilized in the MCU as well. And just as Sebastian Stan in general, like to think that this man is not like the talk of the town despite being an MCU movie, in the same way that, Falcon, despite being a minor character, he's still a big name in the MCU, I feel, where Winter Soldier isn't quite on that level, despite having a whole movie named after him. So yeah, I really love his performance here. He's earning that check, man, with that crying. I'm like, yo, let's fucking
Yeah.
go, man. I love to see stuff like that. And just to see something more grounded and realistic, because that's one thing I always freak out about this show, is every time I watch an episode, I'm like, this is still in the same universe where like a neurosurgeon became a wizard and there's like a teenager in Brooklyn swinging from webs. Like,
Yeah.
what is this? Like, I can't fathom how much it is the fact that this is all one universe and it all fits without question perfectly. Like, I think this scene really shows how you can still be grounded. You can still have this dude with this crazy vibranium arm and it still have some real human emotion in there. And I really liked how it showed that history with Wakanda. So when the conflict with his Wakandan interests and his interest in the current mission, when they start conflicting, that flashback kind of, kind of helps you understand that conflict a little better. So I was appreciating the fact it was there. Good stuff
Gotcha.
overall, though.
Indeed. Christian, do you got any thoughts?
to just echo what Cam said because I think he said it really beautifully earlier. But I love that these shows and some of the Marvel movies as well really focus on trauma, and especially WandaVision and to a certain extent this show as well. But this opening scene, I think, added an emotional weight that I wasn't expecting and that I didn't know I needed for Falcon Winter Soldier. But then I thought it was great because it then echoes what we'll later talk about with his arm. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
fantastic.
Two things I liked about this one is that so if you guys have noticed, like when he was Winter Soldier, and Christian has talked about this before, his theme song when he's Winter Soldier, it's a very like one note, like kind of a screeching
Mhm.
um
It's like a
um
scream in the background.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it kind of like it gets more, focused on that weird noise, whereas this one, it's, the Winter Soldier part of him is going away, so the score, it started really minute at first and then it opened up as he's like getting relief that he's not the Winter Soldier anymore, and
Mhm.
it's this nice orchestra sound of just, I don't know, hope I got. So, and just to see him really happy right now, it's really good because Bucky really has been like the crux of a lot of major MCU points. You know, he was one of the reasons why Shield was toppled and found out it was Hydra, and he's the reason why really the Avengers broke up. Like Bucky was at the
Yeah.
center of all that, and the Avengers broke up, and they were displaced by when Thanos was here, and if you would have if they would have been together, the Avengers would have Infinity War have gone differently. If that relationship with Cap and Tony was any different. So it was nice to see just Bucky happy because he realizes it hasn't had that before, because he hasn't been in control of his life for what, 70 years, give
Yeah.
or take.
I
So
think that's one of the saddest things is when you really think about it over the course of the MCU when Bucky's been a thing. When has he had any time really to dive deep into the trauma he's gone through? Like this opening scene is 6 months before or earlier. Um or no, 6 months, 6 months,
6 years, I
6 years,
think.
thank you.
Yeah.
6 years earlier, and that was, I think, on the official timeline when that scene happens. The following month is the Infinity War events, and he gets snapped, and then he comes back 4 years later or 5 years later, and then he's back into Endgame fighting, and this is a couple months after that. Like, when has he had time to decompress and really have that time to grieve? And the fact that we only have 2 more episodes and there's a lot of Bucky that needs to really unload
Boy,
still,
howdy.
Yeah.
it's going to be a heavy last 2 episodes, even more so than how this episode ended.
I agree.
And
So
I have a fun theory, like not theory, but like idea of what they can do. Because the thing with Bucky is that like I feel like I don't know really where his character can go after this show, because like the stuff that we know from the comics has all come and gone, and now he's just kind of like atoning for things, and trying to find peace with the pain that he's caused people. And yeah, just like when we get later on to the episode, I have an idea as to like what they could potentially do with Bucky moving forward, in a fun way that I think that like gives him like an important role, I guess.
Interesting.
so after Io speaks with Bucky, Bucky goes back to Zemo and Sam, talks about how the Dora Milaje are coming for him. And so Zemo starts talking to Sam, saying he can't really reason with Karli because she is corrupted by the super soldier serum now, and that has given her what I thought was one of the most interesting parts of the show, saying that she has supremacist ideals.
Yeah,
Right
when they
now.
wrote that word out, I was like, "Yo, they're going there, going there. Let's
And so
fucking go."
when and we'll get a little bit more into that. I think it's important when Sam talks to Karli. I feel as though we can hit on those ideals. But I thought it was really interesting bringing that up because I never thought of it that way. I thought it was like, oh man, these superpowered people do have a sense of supremacy over everyone else. And that's why, with Civil War, hey, we need to keep you guys accountable. You can't just go around thinking that you're top stuff. So I thought that was really interesting to hear. And you're right, Emmett. The show going there, I think it's exactly what is needed.
Wait, was that
Um,
the Wakanda? I forgot the Wakanda guards' names. The Domalaje, you said?
Io?
Dora Milaje.
Oh, the Dora Milaje, yeah.
Was that the Domalaje that said that, or was that the was that Karli and in her group that said
It
that.
was Zemo that brought up the idea of
Oh,
the
yeah. Zemo brought up the idea. Okay, I thought you said that
jeez.
the
Yeah.
Milaje like said that. I was just like, I don't remember that.
Oh,
Okay.
so, but like I said, we'll get into that more when Sam has her talk with Karli. And so the next part of the show is they head to a town of Riga to gain information on Danya Madani, which was the woman that passed away in the last episode for Karli. And Sam is getting no luck. Zemo is able to sing Baba Black Sheep and, get kids with Turkish delights, which was kind of creepy. And
Literally, you don't trust a stranger with candy. They tell you that growing up.
And then he tells them, "Don't trust Sam and Bucky," which I thought was weird. I guess like he brings it up later. He needed some leverage, which that makes sense. But the next scene I think is really interesting. So it goes to Karli and fellow Flag Smasher Nico, and they go to a gravesite to retrieve more super soldier serum. And Nico talks about how he was a Captain America fan, and he likens Karli to Captain America, and she doesn't like that comparison at all. She thinks, Captain America, that shield is from a bygone era built on the oppression of others, and she says that it needs to be forgotten and destroyed. And I thought that was really interesting how people view themselves like on different sides and stuff. In Infinity War, Thanos saw that he was the hero and stuff, and so it's interesting to see like from what side you're on, how you view yourself, because all of us, again, we're going to get more into what Captain America means here in a bit, but you think Captain America, righteous man, but turns out that was really Steve.
Yeah, it's not about the symbol, it's about the person.
Mhm.
Like the shield is just a shield. It's a matter of who's picking that shield up, I think, is where the important part's in. But I think I really am liking Karli. I thought she was just going to be. I thought she was just going to be hey, this is just a face for the Flag Smashers right here. That's all. She's going to be viewed as just the antagonist. But the more they just let her character breathe, the more you see like she's absolutely right with all this stuff. Like in the last episode when Lamar tells John, like, she's giving people a place to stay. Like she's inspiring loyalty out of everyone here. So you can't just cool your jets here. Like we're not going to be able to paint her as a bad guy. So
I think if I remember correctly, there was a rumor going around that they had to like rewrite some of the stuff for the show. And there was a lot of more Karli things because there was in the show a plague of some sort, a illness epidemic, and they had to rewrite it because of coronavirus. And I think like we would have known a whole lot more of the mother figure that died, Dora
Madani.
Madani. So I feel like there would have been even more. I feel like we would have fallen in love with her even quicker if we had all that stuff in there. But she's killing it in every single scene she pops up. And like you said, like her ideals are in the right place, and but like the means about them are where it gets murky.
And I love. I just want to shout out. I forget who knows the name of the actress that plays Karli.
Aaron Spellman.
Yeah.
Aaron Spellman. I think casting her as this character is such a brilliant choice because you can't, I don't know if it's just me, but you can't help but look at her and think she's like innocent, just the way she looks with all the freckles and she looks probably a good 5 years younger than she probably actually is. So like, you just look at her and you want to treat her like a kid or something. But not only is she someone who is a threat because of the super soldier serum, but she's a threat because she has radical ideas and has the power to enact them. So like, I think that's really cool. And to have her be the foil to, or not the foil, she kind of gives me vibes of, honestly, God, what's his name? Killmonger from Black Panther. Like it's the similar thing where once he starts spitting out his ideologies, you're like, actually, you got a fucking point. It's just you got a problem with the way that it's being put out there, with the way it's being implemented. So I'm really, it's to my delight that they're treating her character with such respect in a way where, okay, they're not just going to turn bloodthirsty instantly as soon as they get power. They're actually trying to make substantial change. They just might need a little bit of tweaking on how to get to that change. So I really appreciate that. Hopefully it doesn't end with a knife fight.
A Marvel villain with nuance? No.
I know, right? Boy, howdy. They don't get vaporized
It's
at the
gonna
end.
be real interesting when we watch Black Widow after
Mm.
Yeah.
having a show to really get to know these characters even more, and then a 2-hour thing where we're supposed to know everything at once.
Yeah. Here's Florence Pugh. Have fun.
Can I bring up
So-
a few things before we move on, Eric?
Of course, Christian.
Yeah, there's a few things that I really loved that we kind of glanced over here that I need to mention. One was, of course, that talk with Zemo to Sam and Bucky, where I mean, just credit to the not filmmakers, but showrunners, where Zemo is giving a speech and he says, "There has never been another Steve Rogers," and the camera immediately pans over to a shot of Sam, um, clearly pointing us to like, yes, Sam has the potential to be the next, not just Captain America, but a Steve Rogers-esque figure. But also the Flag Smashers, seeing them hanging around, looking at the video of their own doing, and seeing like hearing audio that one of the persons that died had just started the job the week prior, and he had kids, and it's silent, but they're looking at each other like, we're doing something that's not totally okay here. And then my last here is Karli, who says we're not refugees, we're internationally displaced, which I think just carries entirely different connotations to what she's trying to do, and she feels very much victimized by the GRC and by the world. So I love that character.
Hells yeah.
It really is great because they're right. They're not refugees. They were living on this planet, and everyone's gone, and then they're just thrown away when everyone comes back. So I think this show has been doing a fantastic. I wish there were more than just 6 episodes, but unfortunately,
Oh,
that's what we got.
Yeah.
It's insane that
Um,
we only got 2
'cause
episodes left.
It's crazy to
Mhm.
me because with these 4 episodes, I was worried that Falcon and Winter Soldier, I was ready for it, but could it like rival WandaVision for me? And then this show for 4 episodes, like I've kind of forgotten about WandaVision already because this show is so damn good.
It's so
Becau-
crazy because well, go ahead. You were about to continue.
Because like this kind of show is the stuff that needs to be in the MCU right now. Like the stuff that this show is talking about needs to be talked about. And again, we're going to get it into a little bit later, especially with a phone call with Sarah and the end of the show, like what this show says about like what our favorite superheroes are saying about America is the best thing this show is bringing us right now. And shout out I think his name is Marcus Spellman, the showrunner. Malcolm, excuse me. He's been doing a fantastic job.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
So
It's just crazy to think that the questions we were asking with WandaVision feel so small potatoes and disconnected from
Right?
reality
Yeah.
compared to all of this. And once again, it's crazy those are in the same universe. It's crazy that this could potentially be happening at the same time. Like, what is this, man? I just love it. It's great.
So next up, John and John Lamar catch up with the trio. John says shit, and I was like, language, even when
Yeah.
he said
Bucky
that.
never said that.
And so John chastises Sam and Bucky for working with Zemo. Sam tells John the plan is to talk to Karli alone, but John is very against that plan. And Lamar kind of has to tell him, like, hey, man, this may be a good idea. If we can just talk to him, this may be the best shot we got. So Sam is given 10 minutes to Karli. I do like the Sam line says, I work with people like this. Let me talk with her, please. That was really great. And so we go to, they're giving the eulogy, or they're giving the service for Mama Danya, as she's called. Karli is giving a eulogy, and she's giving some very inspiring words to everyone.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, we're one world, one people. They threw us out and stuff, but we have each other. And I thought it was really powerful, especially with like Sam watching the whole thing. Like she sees Sam, and she's not like, "Let me go get him." You're gonna hear what I gotta say real quick, Sam. So I thought that was really great. And so Sam and Karli talk, and I think this is the best part of the episode is when Sam and Karli have their conversation with one another.
Yeah.
Especially the line that says, "I can't speak for millions of people, but I can speak for you. I can understand with what you're going through right now." So um, let's just talk about this specific scene, especially like when he brings up the supremacist ideals with Karli. She's like, "Oh my God, what? Oh my no!"
Yeah, because that's such a incendiary term to just throw around, and sure enough, she was trying to argue against it and totally fell right into like supporting that type of ideology. It was just a trip. I can't believe the show is like because literally the scene is just them talking about like their political viewpoints for like a good 10 or 15 minutes. Like, how do we even get here? And I really like that scene because it is so hard when the stakes are so high, when you're applying this to the entire world and you're trying to just do right by everyone, to get into these ideas and these concepts on that scale. It feels so unmanageable. So the fact that they were able to just sit down and calmly have this discussion, it kind of really refined a lot of what each of them were fighting for and how they fight for it. But it also kind of, it held up a mirror. That's a lot of what the show is doing, just holding up a mirror to American society and being like, yo, here's how shit is, and here's how we react to things in the real world. And we're just going to reflect that in this show to kind of show you, hey, this is the real world for all intents and purposes, subtract space wizards and whatnot. So yeah, I love that scene. I thought that was a really well acted scene as well. And I could believe the back and forth between them and the comfort that they seem to have despite everything. Yeah, just great overall.
Especially when she says that you're killing people. No, they're just roadblocks in my way. I'm like, oh no, we can't be saying stuff like that. It's
That was a little bit of a dark moment.
so Kyle, what'd you think about this scene in particular?
Yeah, I mean, it's incredibly well acted by two super talented actors. Yeah, like Emmett was saying, supremacy is never said, usually combined with a good thing, right? When you hear supremacy, it's usually always a bad thing, or a bad leaning thing. But yeah, I love how we got Sam back doing what when we first met him doing in Winter Soldier. Like, he's there to help these people who've gone through some shit, and he's the perfect person. And that's the reason why that camera panned over to him during that Zemo talk, because he is the type of person with those morals and will listen first instead of dealing with his fist first. He's using his brain. He's sitting down on an emotional level and on a mental level, and just hearing these people out before any other actions, which I love.
Well said. Cameron, you got any thoughts on this scene?
Yeah, I think that this is the scene that like just reconfirms, but like just throughout the show, like I feel like the show, like the objective of the show on the big MCU standpoint is for Sam to realize that he's worthy to be Captain America, and like us, because like we already know that he's worthy, but like this scene I think is just like what really reconfirms that. I think that this is the scene that's just like this is why he should be like Captain America. Like this is like this is why he's a good man. Like he's talking to someone who like that is in a like is a bad person, like is doing bad shit, and like it's like let's not fight about this. Let's talk about this. Like let's not resort to violence. And just like a lot of the ideals I think that Steve had, but that's just who he is. Like he didn't like learn that from Steve. That's just how he's always been. And yeah, I think it's like the best scene in the show, and or in the episode. And it's it just reconfirms that like Sam is meant to be Captain America, and like it'll be interesting how things go from here.
Of course.
Yeah.
Christian, you got any thoughts?
Yeah, I first wanted to just bring up Walker, who's just like strutting around Latvia wearing his Captain America suit, which is something that Steve Rogers would never do. Every time we see Steve Rogers and anywhere, he's like in his like civvies, but Walker's like asserting his authority, just walking around, which I had issue with.
He's in that hat and hoodie.
Exactly, yeah.
That Marvel disguise.
Exactly.
I don't think this scene would be as powerful for me if we didn't get the like direct contrast as to how shitty Walker is as a Captain America. And this scene I thought was like the reason why this episode was my favorite of the 4 that we've seen so far. Because I didn't think we'd get a Marvel show that has like the struggling proletariat versus like diplomatic supremacy at all, let alone one where we get the protagonist or heroes who agree with Karli, even if the means to do so, are morally gray or disagreeable. And this is the reason why I love the show.
Yeah. I don't know where this could end, because that's the thing. We got 2 more episodes. I'm betting one of those episodes is like an hour and a half or something crazy, because there's no way they can tie up something this big and this like kind of messy in a way that's satisfying in what 2 hours. I'm really interested to see where it can go because at the end of the day, this is still Marvel. They're asking a lot of questions to where I don't know how clean cut these answers can be to still, be in the next Spider-Man movie or something like that. Like at the end of the day, these are still movies for children technically to sell toys. So I'm like, it's really cool that they're experimenting in this way with the side projects like this. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully they recognize that people love cracking into these concepts in these movies because Black Panther is still what the third most successful movie of all time or something like that. So yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes because this can only go up from here. At least I think maybe.
I
Of
definitely
course.
think that like I think that Bucky and like Sam and Bucky are just gonna like fight John and take the shield from him, and like I think that's what's going to happen with that. With Karli and all that, I don't particularly know, but I definitely think that it's more or less just going to be like this doesn't belong to you, like and take it from him and in some sort of fight that I don't think because there are these rumors going on that like that he'll be U.S. agent, and that there's like rumors about the Thunderbolts, like Thunderbolt Ross will like
Mm.
maybe like in one of the last scenes of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Thunderbolt Ross shows up and recruits John to do like his own like form of Avengers like through the government.
I think he might be
And
the power broker, honestly.
Hmm.
If we want to
Thunderbolt Ross.
yeah, I think he might be the power broker
Oh,
because that's somebody else. Like we have 2 episodes left.
I
Who's the power
think
broker?
I think it.
Sharon.
I think it's
I
Sharon.
mean,
Yeah.
I think she's working for the power broker. I don't think
I
she's.
think
Gwyneth
it's. I
Paltrow's
think it
back.
is. I think it is Sharon. Or if it is if it's not Sharon, I think it's someone that's like we could never guess. Like it's gonna be someone completely random.
Like I said, Gwyneth Paltrow's back.
Can
Let's go.
can I be real?
Um,
Ooh.
You're right. It's going to be someone that Tony probably screwed over in the past if we know the MCU.
Oh, Mandarin, maybe
Oh,
Hmm.
like the real Mandarin,
the real Mandarin, not Ben Kingsley Mandarin.
maybe. I
Hello.
don't. I don't know. I don't know. But that'll be interesting. Who knows? We may not know, and that'll be something back later.
yeah.
Because in the comics, Wolverine is the power broker. So
Mm.
who knows?
God.
Could you imagine? Holy crap!
And
Oh.
they're not gonna introduce
This
Wolverine
is how
in
X-Men. Yeah.
a show. Yeah, this is how X-Men come into the
Jesus
MCU.
Christ.
So yeah, I think that there's gonna be some sort of fight, and I don't want to go like, we still got some stuff to talk about. I don't want to like get into like predictions on what's gonna happen to the rest of the show, but I do want to talk about that later on for sure.
We will.
Of course.
We will.
So moving on, we see that Karli is being chased by Walker, Sam, Bucky, and Zemo catches up to Karli, shoots her in the side, and starts destroying all the super soldier serum that she had. Which even though we're like enjoying Zemo and his antics with the group, he still has a mission. He wants to get rid of the super soldier stuff like that. That's his goal. That's his end goal, is to end superpowered people. And so before he could finish, John Walker knocks him out, and Mr. Walker happens to see a conveniently placed one next to a basket. And, like there's that haunting music that's played when he picks it up. And I think that
Everyone
I
said fuck at the same time.
right.
Fuck.
So
Yeah.
Because
getting
there
to
was
that,
there was a conversation with Lamar and John too, right? Before this.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a little bit later.
You think
Oh,
after?
okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after this, we go back to the apartment. Sam is talking to Zemo, and Zemo, which was one of the best conversations in the episodes, like, "Hey, if you would have had the opportunity to take the serum, would you have done it?" Sam, like, "No." It's like no hesitation. That's impressive, and it kind of reminded me. I told Tessa this, like, it reminded me of the first question that's asked of Steve by Erskine, like, "Do you want to kill Nazis?" No, I don't. I just don't like bullies. So it kind of reminded me of that, where it's just blood's not the answer, and this episode specifically shows like, yo, Sam is going to be the next Captain America. Like he's good. It's not about the skill set with Sam. Sam has the skill set. That's not in question. It's his heart. That's the most important part.
Yeah.
And Sam will always have that, I think, over Bucky. That's why I don't think Bucky will be that, because I think Bucky's too conflicted with himself. Sam really has that righteousness that Steve had. And
Yeah,
so
Sure.
yeah. I think that's that's gonna be that's like the ongoing thing, right? Is that like John Walker's a good soldier, but he's not particularly a good man. But Sam is a good man, and
Mhm.
that's what you need to be Captain America. You need to be a good man.
and it's time to get to the scene that everyone on the internet cheered for. So
Dun, dun, dun,
John
dun.
tries to bust into the apartment to get Zemo, and the Dora Milaje walk in, and it's like, oh, what's about to happen here? And John, tries to be a confident ass and says, "Hi, Captain America, how are you? Thanks, we got it from here. You don't have any jurisdiction here." And just she says that the Dora Milaje have jurisdiction wherever the Dora Milaje find themselves to be. I'm like, oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And so a fight
getting clapped.
ensues,
I do
and
want to actually
John.
talk about that line specifically. That I'm just like, are there not consequences? Because everyone knows about Wakanda now. You know what I mean? Like, you can't you're still
Well,
you're still like a government. You're still like a like a country. You can't just be like, oh, we can have jurisdiction wherever we want. Like, what?
well, I
No, you
think the
can't.
point of it is like Wakanda's so unfuckwittable that it's like A, they're unfuckwittable. B, it's led by T'Challa. We know he has a good heart. We know he's a good person. So I don't think that's a concern. But it's also like they have space metal. What the fuck are we gonna do? Like at the end of the day, they can go where they want and do what they want because they're walking with the biggest stick. That's all it is.
Mhm.
And then, Mr. Walker gets his ass just handed to him. He's
Oh, yeah.
just so
God.
humiliated. And
The Sam and Bucky watch, which is my favorite.
looking real good, looking real strong, John.
Yeah, that was really good.
I love how they're all just taking a drink while it's happening too. And so, there's that awesome moment where one of the Dora Milaje just like picks up the shield. And I'm like, oh, just right in his face too.
Oh, that
Dude,
was
he
so
kicked the shit
good.
up
When
Yeah.
they kicked the
he
shield up, I was like, let's go.
It's so good.
And
I
so,
literally was just like, she can do that?
He was like, "You think you're hot shit? Flip." My God.
No,
So
that was
what-
the biggest dick drop on the table I've ever seen. Like,
For
literally, it was
Rizzle.
just like, boom.
and I like that during the episode, Sam is even still like, "Come on, Bucky, we need to help him. Like, come on, let's do the right thing here." And then there's that scene of Io just deactivates Bucky's left arm, which I thought was interesting, and he looked like, "Oh shit, you could do that this whole time." So, and then Lamar tells John, "Hey man, we just need to get out of here. Let's go." And then he just has that line where he's just so defeated. It's like they weren't even super soldiers.
Yeah.
And it was in that moment where it's just I empathize with John. I really do. This man he's trying to fill the biggest shoes in the Marvel universe right now. He is trying he's trying to do what he thinks is right, but he's just going about it the wrong way. Like it's like you said, he's walking around these areas with his Captain America attire on. He's calling himself Captain America, because Steve would always walk around like, "Hi, I'm Captain Rogers," or "Hi, I'm Steve." Like
Yeah.
Steve never went around saying like, "Hey, I'm Captain America." He never went around like John did in the last episode, like, "Do you know who I am?" Like Steve never did
Yeah.
that. And so John has a lot on his plate, and just I think that ass kicking really just like put in perspective, like, I'm not good enough for this. And so all that doubt starts creeping in his mind.
Yeah. Then that needle starts creeping in his mind, and there you go, Serum.
That's
I
right.
also-
The
And
needle.
I want to talk about the Bucky's arm too, because I feel like that was just kind of like that was a fucking low blow for Bucky too, because it was just that kind of realization that even though the Wakandans helped him, they still didn't fully trust him.
exactly what I got from that too.
And that was like damn, that fucking sucks.
Yeah. That hit for me. It was also kind of we could put you in. It's like how your parents are like, I put you in this world, I'll take you out. Like that was
Yeah.
just them. That was another dick drop on the table moment where it's like, yeah, we could totally take this whole thing away from you. Like as much as we've given to you, just make sure you respect our wishes enough to know that we can fuck your shit up in a day. Like,
And I
so yeah, I
just think
respect that.
it's just one of those things with like in the beginning of the episode, what like we see his relationship with Io and like how you know like they had a I think they had like a level of friendship. You know what I mean? And now with Steve gone and like Sam and Bucky fighting all the time, I feel like that Bucky doesn't. He just feels alone. You know what I mean? And that was like
Hmm.
just another kick to the groin on like you are alone. No one loves you. No one trusts you. Because even like even with Sam, like that's like what they're doing this like throughout the show is trying to build like each other's trust. Um, so it's just like that part really hurt. But man, when he reattached the arm and did the fucking thing
Oh
from
yeah,
Winter Soldier, like I was
Yeah,
like,
that was
let's
cool.
go! That like it's one of the most badass things. Like whoever did the audio design for that, like S tier audio
yeah,
design.
man, they got a nice bonus.
I do have to respond to what Cam says because he's absolutely right. I empathize with Bucky. I felt bad for him. Um, but we also have to keep in mind that I'm sure Io probably feels just as betrayed by Bucky because after all, Zemo did kill King T'Chaka, and so seeing I'm sure Bucky be all buddy buddy with Zemo, breaking him out of prison, probably hurt her feelings as well.
That's true, but she didn't also have all the context that we have about
Yeah. Oh
why,
yeah, for sure.
So yeah, but I get like with the knowledge that she knew, like for sure, like that definitely is valid.
True,
All right, it's
true.
time. Let's get to that scene that Mr. Kyle was talking about. So we have a nice moment of John and Lamar, and they're talking in like some what appears to be a train station of some kind, I think. And John is talking about how, hey, would you take the serum? Because Lamar doesn't know that John's got it in his pocket, but it's like, hey,
Mhm.
let me talk to my best friend here. Would you take it? And I like how Lamar's like, yes, absolutely. Like, because
Literally says "Hell's yeah" from the PSP commercial.
and it's just like
Uh,
power just makes someone more of themselves, right? And it talked about how I think it was really interesting here how Lamar brings up like, hey, you won 3 Medal of Honors in combat. You make the right decisions in battle. And I'm like, there it is right there. That's the problem. Captain
mhm.
America is not about making the right decisions in battle. It's about, not going into a battle. It's about like being sympathizing with everyone. Like it's not about bloodshed. And so John talks about, those 3 Medal of Honors talk about the worst day of my life. And, I think hopefully in these next 2 episodes, maybe we're going to see what that worst day of his life was. I think that would be really interesting for him.
I'm sure that
And
actually now that you mention that, I think that's going to be the opening scene of the next
Same.
episode. 100,
Oh,
Ooh,
100%.
God, it's gonna
I
be
like
It's
that.
going to
dark
be
as
like
hell. I'm not
it's
ready
going to
for
be a
it.
hard cut right into like some sort of like
War
war
or
zone
something.
or
Yeah.
whatever, and just complete. Yeah, I think
God,
that's how the next episode's
it's
going
gonna
to
be the
start.
seventh day of Fallujah, and I won't be ready for it.
Oh no.
Jeez, that's
so
gonna. I hope they do that tastefully. Jesus Christ.
And
Sorry.
so after that, I think it was a really nice scene because we really haven't gotten any scenes with just John. So I think he talks about being Cap was the first right thing he felt like doing, and so that's why I empathize with him. I know he's trying to do what he thinks is right, but that necessarily doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. Um,
Mhm.
so moving on, we
Or
get
one thing I
oh
want to say also, because we talked a lot about how John always keeps the suit on. He's always, using his rank to his advantage. This is one of the only times since he got the suit, at least to my
Vulnerable.
recollection, that he feels vulnerable. So he's wearing his regular clothes. He's wearing a civilian outfit because he has been brought down a peg by the Wakandans there in that fight. And so now he feels like he's on the lower level. So he's dressing like the people that he thought he was above previously. And it's not until he got that serum where he felt like kicking ass again. And we're about to talk about some of that ass that got kicked.
See, here's something that I think that like I'm curious about regarding John's character is just like how did the military in like today's time, basically present time, perceive Captain America? Like did they just see him as like, oh, he's a kick-ass soldier? Because if that's the case, like I can see why John was like, this is what being Captain America is being a good soldier, because he didn't know Steve personally. He didn't know like those extra layers of what it actually is to be Captain America. So like that's probably like, so like him dealing with those frustrations, like I can see where he's coming from because he doesn't know. Like and the government really doesn't know. They just like, oh, we need someone who's a great soldier to be more or less propaganda to another degree
I
as well.
mean,
Like,
yeah,
and that's a
I
whole
think that's what it
other
is.
thing, but like to talk about. But yeah, it's just like what like I just want to know like what that perspective is for people that are in the military, and how they see like how they saw Captain America when Steve like held the mantle, like before like let's say like before Civil War or whatever, where like he wasn't a fugitive. I
Well,
think
I
I think that would be important information.
I kind of feel like if you think about to the original Captain America movie, he was already a propagandic icon for war. So like
Yeah.
imagine like honestly imagine if Uncle Sam was real and was the best soldier the world has ever seen. Like that is kind of what it is. Like imagine that guy just becoming sentient and just coming out here and kicking ass. But what no one in the military, what that conglomeration of the military industrial complex didn't understand is that Steve is a good soldier because he's a good person. And that is something you can't really interview for that, or they wouldn't have thought to interview for that. So that's why they get John Walker and all of his flaws come with it, because they're like, oh, it's all about the soldierness. Now they're too ignorant to see that it's all about what's in your heart, not what's in your biceps. So here we
Yeah,
are
because
now.
like, because when we first meet John, like I was like, I like this guy. Like, I was like, I like this guy. When you see the training video where he throws a shield, I'm like, oh shit, like he can do that, and like, and
Yeah.
the interview like on the football field and like all those things. It's just like I really like this guy, but just but obviously isn't going to be Captain America. So what's going to happen? And I just think that like even now, it's just like I just feel like that he just is. I don't want to say he's misunderstood, but he's just ignorant on some things that like are making him make poor choices.
Yeah.
Um,
Ignorance the word. I like that one.
so
I I see him as just like a victim of just the I guess war
Hmm.
industry, the government.
Hmm.
that's
Yeah.
also fair.
All right. So I think it's time to get into to the really important stuff in this episode. So we see Sarah, Sam's sister, and she receives a call from Karli.
Oh no,
Oh
it happened
Oh
no.
again.
no.
And
Oh, okay.
Okay, he's back.
Sarah's like, "Hey, I've seen you on the news. You're that terrorist, right?" She's like, "Oh, I'm a revolutionary. Depends on what side you're on." And it gets to a thing where Karli threatens Sarah and her nephews, and she says, "Your brother's working for like Captain America." Sarah's like, "I didn't choose him. My world doesn't matter to America. Why should I care about its mascot?" And I thought that was a tremendous line.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Tremendous line.
Yeah.
And because I think that line I don't know if it's directed just at the Captain America mantle or if it's just John Walker. Because I'm wondering, would she say that about Steve?
I
I would
mean,
say I'm
not
thinking
yeah.
I think he's that she's saying it particularly about just like Captain America like in general. I don't think it has anything to do with John. Because the thing and this kind of goes back to the like the very first episode where like Sam I think for a myriad of reasons thinks that he's not worthy of the shield. Like one, he's like, okay, I'm like the level of imposter syndrome where like I can't be a black person in a position of power or on a high level position, so I'm not worthy of this and I need to give it up. And then the government decides who's the best fit for that, and of course it is a white person, a white man. And that is that's how the government sees America. Like that is them choosing the face of like America to a certain like in a certain way.
Hmm.
And that's just not true. Like we are a melting pot. And so for her it's just like, I mean, Captain America doesn't cover my values. It does not represent care about Captain America. If it was someone of color, like not even a black person but someone of color, like a minority, like I think her answer would have been different. But Yeah.
Well, I kind of think it ties into just the way that Captain America is probably perceived by the wider country or the wider world in general, is that if he is just Uncle Sam incarnate, then what does that do for anybody who's not super excited about war? Like that's
Yeah.
just not going to rise the needle for you. You're not going to instinctively think like Uncle Sam, all you think is fight, destroy the enemy, win. That's it. You don't consider what he's fighting for. You don't consider what he goes to do when he's off the battlefield. None of that really comes up. So if you're a normal person and Steve Rogers is this like American like god tier human that's just running out there, you have no personal connection to him. And it's not like Steve Rogers is out here doing interviews with Good Morning America. So you never really knew who he was as a person. So I feel like the rest of the world, I'm sure much appreciation for like, oh, thanks for saving our lives. Thanks for doing all these different heroic acts. But when it comes right down to it, you don't have a connection to him. So I think she was just portraying that. Like, even if she heard how good Steve was from her connection to Sam, that's still not going to affect her too much day to day. So, it is what it is in that front.
Gotcha. Um, does anyone have any more thoughts before we get to this finale?
I think you two said it great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. So let's get into the nitty gritty of this.
Let's get bloody.
So
Let's go.
Sam finds out that Karli has threatened Sarah and his family. So he gets a text from Karli saying she wants to meet, and so they meet up. And Sam just chastises Sarah. Excuse me. Sam chastises Karli. Like, you brought my family into this. What the hell? And she's saying, I just wanted to see who you are and stuff. First off, I think if you think you're the good person, you're not going to threaten kids, even if you are not going to do it or not. You're not going to threaten kids if you think you're a good person. So just throwing that out there. And so Sam gets word from Sharon that John is on the way, and a fight breaks out between Sam, Bucky, and Karli. John and Lamar enter the building, and Lamar is separated from John. John searches the building. He's attacked by a flag smasher, and you see kind of a little more anger in John in these fights, like the way he throws the shield, how it goes into the wall. It's like, could it be possible that he took a little serum? And
Just a little bit.
Sam meets up with John, and he knows that John, kicked a dude down the stairs, and he has bent this pipe, and it's like, oh, what did you do? Sam at that point he took the super soldier serum. Oh no, I got to deal with this right now too. And so they all meet up, Bucky, Sam, and John, and they start fighting some more flag smashers. And Karli and the guy from earlier, Nico, who said he was a big Captain America fan, which is,
Ooh,
a lot to do with right now.
ironic.
They start getting into a fight, and Karli comes through and just punches Lamar so hard he goes back into a pillar, and he appears to be knocked out. That's what it appears to be.
That's how
Yeah,
you saw
He
it.
was fucking dead.
No, he was dead.
As
Yeah.
soon as that happened, I was like, oh,
he
he's
hit
dead.
he hit the
Dead.
pillar, and so
So that's what happened to Lamar. That's why he's not dropping music.
Well, here's the thing, and I don't remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I swear like Lamar was like going after Karli, and then Karli attacked back in self-defense. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. It's one of those things like,
That sounds right.
yeah, because it was more or less like Lamar was trying to help, and then like Karli was like, nah, get out of here, and then like it just unfortunately killed him. Again, I swear that's what happened, but because I know that someone's just like, oh, Karli just like straight up murdered Lamar. I'm like, I'm pretty sure he attacked her.
Yeah,
and then
no, I think he was
Mhm.
rushing in to help John. I think
Yeah.
at some point during the fight,
Yeah.
and she retaliated.
Okay, because he
that
was
way.
rushing in towards her, so I was just like,
Mhm.
okay, like
What I thought is that she was going to punch John, and
Oh,
that
and he stepped in.
Lamar like stepped in and took the punch. I think.
Yeah. Oh,
It
yeah.
happened
That's
so
exactly what
fast.
happened.
That sounds
Yeah.
about right.
all right, keep
God,
talking,
so-
keep talking. I'm gonna look this up really
I
quick.
think
Look it
one
up
of my
first, Cam.
my favorite things about the sequence is earlier. I think when the Dora Milaje was fighting in that room with John and Bucky, there was a mention of like, oh, you're gonna hide behind the shield or something along that in this episode. And then when you see John walk into the building, he is hiding behind that shield. with a gun drawn
Oh.
like a coward. Even though he's all super powered up, but like I love. Yes, it does mirror the Cap scene in First Avenger when he's walking in to battle the Nazis of him behind the shield. But I just love how that line earlier in the episode of them like picking at him for like hiding behind that symbol of that shield, that weapon. Without that, he's really nothing. And then he still is walking in trying to fight these super powered people hiding behind that shield.
Yeah.
Like a true coward.
That's a great point, Kyle.
Okay.
So after
Wait,
John
hold on.
tries to
Cam, you found it?
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah, so basically she's coming after John after he's being held by someone else, and then Lamar tackles her, and then when they both get up, she's just like and just punches him right into the pillow, and he's
Okay.
dead. So yeah, it was she just fucking like, I mean, you could tell by her face that she did not mean to intentionally kill him, but
Yeah.
accidental
did.
murder, still murder.
yeah. So
Yeah,
Also,
it's manslaughter. It's like
Also love Falcon's
yeah.
fighting style in here too.
Mm.
I was using
yeah.
the wings as like a clothesline,
Yeah.
like just another
Yeah.
appendage.
And
Like,
use
he's
the-
It's
so
like
you
a
said-
Marvel
fluid.
vs. Capcom
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
and so John sees Lamar and tries to wake him up. Lamar, come on, buddy, come on, and he's not waking up.
Gotta
And
release a
then
new album. Come on.
you hear what sounds like that Winter Soldier theme, like that creepiness that's coming in. It's like, uh-oh. And so you see John make one of the most superpowered moves you've seen probably in the show. He gets so angry, just runs out the window, just not a care in the world, just falls on this fan. He had no idea what was down there. He just went out. Lands down, looks for the Nico guy. He's chasing him, is screaming like, "Where is she?" and stuff. And so he catches him up in a square, throws the shield at him, knocks him back a little bit, knocks him on the steps, and you see everyone is, got their phones out. Oh, look, it's Captain America. Oh, nothing's gonna happen right now. He's getting some. Oh my God!
This
So
is
what
like a throwback
happens?
to like several movies. Like this is
Yeah.
like, hey, like T'Challa, the world's watching. Don't do this. Like,
Yeah.
don't
And
stop.
There-
And then
so-
also just the Iron Man versus Captain America fight. He literally does the exact same thing like Tony Stark does.
Yeah.
And instead of like hitting his his reactor core, he's like kills him.
Yeah.
Straight up murder.
There's a lot of Civil War stuff too. Like, I don't know if it was intentional, but I always watch like new rock stars after every MCU show just to like see all the Easter eggs and whatnot.
Mhm.
And there was one that was really, really cool that I really dig, that in Civil War at the beginning, you see Cap being aided by Wanda rising up to the top to help people. And then for him to chase Nico, John Walker as Cap is descending. So he's falling. And while Steve
Yeah.
Rogers was rising,
I
he's
love that.
falling down and descending into like the madness and not Cap anymore.
And
off
just
that
he
Oh
he's
damn, that's some big brain shit right
That's
there.
some big
Yeah.
brain shit. Yeah.
straight up
English major
murders.
shit.
Straight up murders a man. And it's interesting because Sam and Bucky are looking on, and Bucky is pissed. If you can see his
Yeah.
face, Bucky is pissed, and Sam just doesn't know what to do. And John just gets up, looks at people are watching, and just that shot of just
Yeah.
blood on the shield. I was
Shield's
like,
tainted.
I'm
Mhm.
like, and that's why it's hard to say Captain America anymore, because I have to have his legacy now. I told Tessa, like, I can't say Cap anymore. I have to say Steve Rogers when I talk about who really is Captain America, because that is tainted.
that
There's
does-
blood on that shield.
Yeah, it's really wild. The thing I keep thinking of is like all the people who are watching this, like imagine the boomerang someone got of that horrible
The TikTok.
moment. Jesus. And that's just like on loop. Like someone gets called into Good Morning America to talk about that shit. It's like, oh my God. So because I imagine that we are going to start with that. I was gonna say cold cut, that cold open of his worst day of his life and everything. But I really want to see the repercussions of this moment
Yeah.
for the rest of the world. Because of course the characters are gonna have to deal with this, but I want to know how normal Joe Schmo on the ground, I want to know how they're like, dude, did you see Captain America? Because like I said, the idea of Captain America has more or less been a blank slate depending on who you talk to, but America has been encouraging people to put all their hope, all their aspirations into this symbol. And now that this symbol is literally physically tainted with the blood of a relatively innocent, it's like, God, how do you even come back from that as someone? This is like Like to connect this to real life again, this is like all those people who thought, oh man, yeah, the presidency is like the symbol. This is the hope that we put into, and then you put the wrong person into that symbol, and that symbol breaks away. And for a lot of people, that symbol is never going to be built back up again. So I'm trying to see where they're going to take this one in, because I really do think they're doing something really bold and interesting with this. Can't wait to see the repercussions of it.
Yeah.
I definitely think we're gonna see like people talk about like how they thought what John did was right, because they're like, oh, they're terrorists, they needed to die, blah 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 blah. Like they, they don't know the context. So I definitely think that there will be people that will like prophesize John for what he did, because that's
I
what people in America do.
I enjoyed
Yeah, true.
one of the memes I saw from this is just it was that meme of like all the pictures of like the old right wing looking people, like all white dudes in sunglasses and stuff. You know what I'm talking about? And it says John
Oh,
Walker did the right thing.
yeah.
Oh yeah, John Walker was right.
And so
God.
Hate
something
that.
I saw that really refreshes what I think about in this moment is that Steve Rogers is who America thinks it is, and John Walker is who it actually is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a real hard look at America right here. Like that's what it is. We go into foreign places, we kill innocent people. Man, this guy, just saying that made it like, whew.
We
I gotta
get blood on
remember-
our hands, and then
It's
we
like-
wipe it on the flag to make the color.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, this is a Marvel show. We just got really deep with that. So
Yeah, man.
There's a
They're
few stuff I
inviting this
want-
type of conversation. I love it. But go ahead, Christian.
There's a few stuff I want to bring up that is a response to what Eric just said and what Emmett said earlier about holding a mirror to the audience, which is what Karli said to Sam before the fighting happened, which was, if I were to kill you, meaning Sam, it would be meaningless. And I'm not sure how you guys read that, but to me that was like, if I were to kill like this black hero, the white world wouldn't care. The same way that we have our black Captain America, that Isaiah, that was completely sidelined.
Yeah.
And then so to have, I think, Hoskins for me die, what didn't sit entirely like right with me. I understood why, and it makes sense because we have the turn of Walker, but he almost felt like complete utility for Walker to be dynamic, and that kind of felt antithetical to me for what the themes of the show are.
Yeah.
So that was that's like my only critique of this episode, is that Hoskins, I think, deserved a lot better than what he was written, what he got.
Yeah, it was black people lifting up white people. That's what
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
White
this
people get all the
is
credit.
America.
Yeah. Don't get you slipping though.
So, but yeah, I saw some really interesting things. I saw some people that say like, like kind of like in defense of John, and like, that he, he just wanted to be like, do what like he thought, do what he thought was right, and like, that he's a good soldier, and he's like probably like, he probably is like a good person, but like not, like not like the same type of thing that Captain America is, or needs to be. But I like also saw some like responses where it's like, if Lamar was like the one thing that was holding you back from killing people, then maybe you weren't a good person like this entire time. But I also feel like it's like, I don't know, I think it's a really complicated topic that I think that I need to watch the episode again to really like have a cohesive opinion on. But I definitely think that there's like more to John than just like Lamar being the one thing stopping him from like killing people. Because I mean, he's a
Yeah.
soldier. He killed people in wars and stuff like that. Like, this isn't. It's not really like his action as a soldier. It's his action as Captain America. That is what's the issue here.
I mean, that's the whole thing about it being Steve Rogers. Like you're as a soldier, just in general, let alone Captain America, you're gonna run into some rough stuff. You're gonna have some harsh moments. Think about the trauma that has to be involved if you make the whiff that happened at the end of Infinity War. Like, not only did you fuck up monumentally, but like several of your friends are dead. And that's just really rough to have to deal with on its own. But the fact that he can come back with that composure and not have that trauma fester into evilness just plays, I guess, from the perspective of, a Disney movie. I'm sure that this is what they will probably be pointing towards, but it just plays to the pureness of his own heart. And so you can't have someone else come in there who the second their friend, because just to say, we're still not sure if Lamar is straight up dead. He's probably dead, but like there's some little bit of doubt there. He could just be knocked out and he's like in the hospital in the next episode or something. But like the second there's any doubt, this man's over here just bludgeoning a man with a shield. Like there's just no justice, no peace in that man's heart at all. So, it just shows you the difference between those two characters. And I'm sure we're going to crack open a whole bigger can of that in the next 2 episodes.
Yeah. Before you guys continue the amazing conversation, I actually have to run. I mistakenly booked 2 podcast recordings too close to each other, so that's on me. But thanks so much for having me, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We are so lucky to have the show because it's talking about real things in a superhero format, and it's amazing. Shout out to Wyatt Russell as John Walker, making us hate Captain America. He's killing it. But yeah, have a great night.
Thank you so much for joining us, Kyle. You were welcome.
Thank you. See you
Check
later,
out
Kyle. Love you.
SixOneIndie.
Check out Mr. K-Step on Twitter. Follow him.
Yes.
He's great.
Bye, everybody.
Beacon of good. Thank you for joining us.
Kai. What a good man. Now let's talk shit. No, I'm kidding.
So good.
Who the heck is this guy?
Give me 1 second.
Right.
Hold on.
It's Ruben, everyone. This is Ruben. Hi, welcome to a little break we're gonna have right now. Ruben's joining us.
Yeah.
With his Ninja Turtle shirt.
Yep, that's right.
Here's one thing I wanted to ask Ruben.
Yes.
How many references to Ruben Studdard are made in reference to
Constantly? It's annoying.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious because I was like, yeah, I thought about that the first time, but I never said anything about it because I was like, that is probably a lot, but how much? Enough.
Yep.
So I'm going to shut up about it now.
I'm really sad that Ruben Studdard did not glow up like Kelly Clarkson and J Hud did, because he's still my favorite singer that's won American Idol. Like when I watched it, like I watched it for like quite a while, but man, like Ruben Studdard was so like even Clay Aiken. Clay Aiken's more successful than Studdard, and he didn't even win. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
same thing with what's his face? Adam Lambert. Adam Lambert is the lead singer of Queen now, which is wild.
what?
Yeah.
You know that?
Well, Clay Aiken didn't get to be in the hit film Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed, so Ruben's got that over him.
That's true.
Good movie.
Thank you.
But no, Adam Lambert is the lead singer now because he's the only person that can hit Freddie Mercury notes. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll be damned. Well, that's impressive, but hey, it's no Justin to Kelly. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's true. That is true.
So, I hate to stop talking about American Idol stuff here,
Please,
but it's all good. So just final thoughts on this episode. If there's anything that we missed that you guys want to talk about, Christian, we'll start with you.
Oh, with me?
Yes.
No, I mean, I wanted more of Karli. I got exactly what I wanted. We got more of her. I hope we address more, I guess, of her like morally gray stuff as we move forward. And then what Cam said, which I hadn't even thought about it. Yeah, let's look at more of Walker's past. Let's make him more of a dynamic character. And yeah, I hope Hoskins is alive. Let's throw him.
Yeah.
In there. Yeah.
He doesn't deserve to die to be motivation for another character. Like he deserves better than that.
I'm sorry, but
with the themes that the show has, yes, he does. Yes, he probably is dead.
Great point.
I just want to touch on that real quick before we continue. I just want to say, like, you took the serum and you decided to let your boy come into a fight with super soldiers. Like, you're the fucked up one here. Like,
you should have been like, "Yo, chill out. I got this."
He knew what he was getting. Like, he knew what he was getting into. I don't think
you think so? I feel like. I don't know. I feel like
they've been pursuing them for a while, and he knew that they were super soldiers. You know,
correct, but he didn't know that John took the serum. I assume. I don't know for sure.
I don't know if we never knew that. They might tell us that this week's episode, but I do think that like regardless of like his actions of deciding to like let Lamar get into the fight, like he's his partner. Like, you know what I mean? Like Anthony Mackie is, the Falcon is just a guy with wings. Like technically, he's not a super soldier, but he still goes into fights. Like it's fine. It's fine.
Okay. All right.
I just think how incredible it would be is like after, show what Cam was talking about, a scene of John Walker in Afghanistan, and cut straight to the square, and then you cut to a scene of Lamar waking up. It's like, John, where are you, buddy? And he runs downstairs and
God.
like sees what John did.
That would be incredible. Oh my God. Whew.
Just like to have that scene of like, what did you do?
Because then the reason he lost his shit is now here to witness you losing your shit. It's like, oh man, you're gonna have a reckoning for more than America, man. Oh, dude, that'd be amazing. We'll see.
But yeah, so I do want to final thoughts. Like, episode's great. Want to see where things go, and again, like I was having this conversation with a friend yesterday about like what we think is going to happen like at the end of the show, like what's going to happen, like what's Sam going to do, what's going to happen to the shield. And it's not like that they want this to happen, but they think that like Sam will not use the shield, that he is just he's going to like have it, but he's not going to actually use it, he's not going to become Captain America. And I'm just like, because he thinks that like because which is fair, like Sam more cares about Steve's legacy and what that shield represents towards Steve more than like anything. But I also think like he needs to, but and they also play with the themes like, hey, the history of America is complicated as a black person, and but then you have to like think about the bigger picture on like what having a black Captain America would do for like all the minorities in America, and like seeing someone like that in that sort of position, like thinking like bigger picture of what that would mean for not just America but for the world. And that like Steve wanted him to be the next Captain America. Like, he's not like, Steve isn't worried about his legacy. Like, I lived my life, like, you now move forward. And so I would be so like, I could see potentially like that he doesn't pick, like that he uses the shield in the final episode for like the final fight, but then he decides not to like use it moving like forward, and then we don't see him use it again until like a later movie. But man, like if he doesn't become Captain America by the end of this show, like I'm gonna be mad. Like,
Yeah.
because it would make everything of that last, because for me, like the last conversation with Sam and Steve in Endgame is my favorite part of that movie.
Yeah.
And if they don't make Sam Captain America at the end of the show, it's just going to tarnish that scene like so much, because it's just like, oh well, you get the shield, and like the whole like it doesn't feel like it's mine, and then like Steve's like, it's yours, and like that whole like very subtle but impactful encounter would just be nothing.
Yeah.
It'd be like, fuck
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
So I hope this isn't 6 episodes leading to a psych.
Exactly. So I really, gosh, like I hope that my friend is just wrong about that. Because again, like he wants him to become Captain America. He's just like kind of like analyzing how Sam is as a character and like what they're doing with the show. But yeah, I really hope that doesn't happen. And then with Bucky, I think this is like my kind of like main theory right now. I think that once the show's over, he's eventually gonna be like the mentor for the Young Avengers.
Huh.
Oh,
How would that be?
Oh,
They're
love that.
teasing it. They're already teasing it, and like again, after this, Bucky doesn't really have anything that he needs, And so why not just like be the next Nick Fury, more or less, and just be like, hey, you see him go to
Oh no.
I'm not hearing. Okay.
Okay. Say that
and
one more
talk
time.
to oh yeah, he goes to Isaiah's house at the end of the show and talks to Patriot, and it's like, you want to be a hero, like that type of thing. Like I don't think that's actually gonna happen, but like I think that like that would be really cool if he was just like the mentor or trainee for like the Avengers. We're getting Patriot, we know we're getting Kate Bishop, like it's coming, like it's definitely happening. So like that would be a really cool role to put him in to make him still relevant moving.
I love it.
Yeah.
I respect the hell out of that. Holy shit.
A take I saw on Twitter a few days ago that was really interesting. It was just someone said, let me on Twitter, Tina, Teanah, says, Falcon Winter Soldier is teaching me not to sell yourself short and let imposter syndrome win, because an unworthy piece of shit will take your place.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amen.
So
I have one more thing to say. I think for me personally, I'm leaning towards more as to what's happening with Bucky throughout the show more than I am leaning towards what's happening to Sam, just because I know in the back of my head like Sam is eventually going to take the mantle as Captain America, but like we don't know what the fuck's happening to Bucky after this.
That's
so
fair.
so
Yeah,
I think they introduced Karli as pretty much the opposite of what Steve Rogers was. So it gives Sam like two ends of the spectrum, and he eventually is like, all right, I'm going to do what needs to be done, but I'm going to make sure that both of them are right. Like, not just Karli, not just Steve. Make sure that everybody is being taken care of the way that it needs to be taken care of.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay with that.
Hopefully he comes down the middle for it, but
Yeah.
that does sound like a perfect, once again, Disney ending. So hey, we got 2 episodes to see what pops off.
I don't think Carly's the exact opposite of Steve. I just think because like when he has a conversation with Karli, that really great scene. He says like, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with everything that you're saying, but I just don't agree with the way you're executing your ideals.
Yeah.
So I don't think that like, yeah, I think that that's what like makes all these characters are so nuanced. Like all these characters have so much depth, and it's so great. Like I can't say like I don't like Karli. Like I can't say that Karli is just like verbatim a bad person. But like you have killed people, but like when you know the context, it's just like, well, I get it. Like like I get it, but you're still a murderer.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
so
but I can't stay mad at you.
Not when she's delivering medicine.
It's like again, it's like
Yeah.
Killmonger. It's like you're
Yeah.
not wrong, dog, but no to what you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're not doing it the right way.
40 miles.
Yeah.
I thought of another interesting thing that could happen, and this is clearly out of left field because I don't think he wants to do it. Imagine if like maybe in the last episode, whether it's through a phone call or he actually sees them, if old Steve comes back and talks to Sam.
No, I don't want it.
Way.
that okay,
No
that would
fucking way would that happen.
I would be screaming.
That's
but-
why I'm saying left. That's why I'm saying left field, and it's just it's just like a reminder of him. Like, look, dude, I chose you for this reason. Like, you need to stop like doubting yourself or something like that. You have what it takes.
Sam
if anything-
does not need to be white splained. I don't
That's
think.
kind of the thing that's
Yeah,
like kind of,
that's
that,
my
that,
thing.
that
Okay.
is like
That's
just
what I'm saying.
kind
It
of
was
like
just
that's one thing that's kind of just like a giant plot hole of this show. Like in the beginning, it's just like phone up Sam. Hey, so what the fuck is going on?
I
with
was
that
just
shield,
gonna
bro?
say that at the end of the
It's
show.
like, I gave you the shield, and do you like the government Civil War? Like,
I was just
Yeah.
gonna say the end of the show is just like Cap calling up Sam, and he's like, "Yo, what the fuck?" Like,
yeah, exactly.
I got locked out on my shield. What the fuck happened? So it was used in like a like I said, it was a fun for theory stuff because I think Sam just like most of us deal with sometimes with imposter syndrome. He just needs that little push.
Dude,
Yeah.
if they actually pulled like a 11th Doctor on us like that,
I
like
was
that
just
would,
about to say that, Cameron. Oh my god.
if they pulled an 11th Doctor on us when it's like, okay, new Doctor's here, first episode of the new Doctor season. There's one scene where like 11's talking to Clara like before he regenerates. I'm just like,
Oh, man.
it was so, like,
now I'm getting
oh
all
my
teary-eyed,
God.
guys.
What a moment!
I mean, I'm gonna keep it
what a
real with you.
moment.
I think just to wrap this up, I think the most realistic one is that Steve sees all this stuff as an old man, and you just cut to him trying to figure out how an iPhone works. The last episode, he finally figures it out. Oh,
What are
God.
TVs?
Yeah, exactly.
I do have one thing we forgot about,
Okay.
What?
which is very much a Marvel thing to do. Predictions is that Sarah will finally get her bank loan approved.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. They'll just have a freeze frame on her like the end of Coach Carter. She got her brink low.
I would also say that like the show ends with Jackson 5's "I Want You Back," but Guardians of the Galaxy already did that. But that's still like a very still. I could see that happening.
No,
That's the end of
it's
the
gonna
show.
end with Hopeful by Twista, just like
Oh my
Coach Carter
god, could
did.
you imagine?
My god,
Maybe-
that would actually match.
Maybe just throwing some Kendrick at the end. That'd be good.
There we go.
His new song's premiering at the end of the episode. You said it here first. Oh my
Oh,
god!
that would
now,
be wild.
now, if it does, we have this clip, and we're gonna be millionaires, everyone.
That's
So
right.
He
I'm
still
just gonna
hasn't done
tell you
anything
that
since
now.
Black Panther, right?
Yeah, he hasn't put out an actual album of his own since 2017 with Damn. So
He's definitely
Ah!
dropping something this year. He's dropping something this year. Anyway.
we'll see. I'm not gonna hold my breath. But anyway, speaking of
And
dropping,
Frank Ocean too. Let's come on. Let's go. Let's
oh
hope.
yeah, Ocean's overdue. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, gentlemen, we are now reaching the end of the show, and it's time to throw in some plugs. Since Kyle is no longer here, I'm going to throw the plugs in for him. Remember, everyone, you can follow Kyle at Mr. K Step on Twitter. Remember, he does great work over at SixOneIndie, highlighting indie games. Fantastic work he does over there. Co-hosting the weekly PlayStation podcast, The Trophy Room. Just a joy of a man. Like, I can't say enough good things about Kyle. He really is just a positive force in the community, and
Big
he
teddy bear.
he deserves all the love
Yeah.
and praise he's been getting with all the hard work he's been putting in. And thank you so much, Kyle, for joining us on our show.
I could say one
Um,
bad thing about him. He's too nice.
What?
He's too nice.
He's too nice.
Yeah, man.
He's
Fuck
just
that guy
he's
and his kindness.
That's fair.
a genuinely just fantastic person. So glad we can get him on the show, and look forward to hopefully having him again one day. Emmett, do you got anything to plug for everyone at home?
Oh yeah, of course. Got a couple things to plug. Of course, VGU.tv is the site that I work for. If you like me, then go over there. I got a lot of. I host a Players Club podcast over there, and we do articles, we do video content, we do all types of shit. So go check that out. And a lot of my colleagues there too. They make some good shit as well. So give that a gander. And also, I'm still streaming Ratchet and Clank. I know I haven't done it in a minute because I've been on vacation last week, but now that I'm back, one of these days this week, I'm gonna get back to it with Ratchet 2. And Cam, I know you're on that train
I'm
as
on
well.
Ratchet
So
2. I'm playing Ratchet 2 right
Nice.
now. Yeah.
oh hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
I saw you
Don't
beat the
come
first
into
one
it's the best
very
one.
easily.
Yeah. First try on the final boss.
Yeah, which I'm so pissed off. That was a 3-hour stream, just the
I know,
boss when I was
it's
playing.
I was there, man. It was
Like,
hilarious.
I like at least
Yeah.
5 of y'all were just like, oh, it's gonna take you at least an hour. I'm
God.
built different.
For sure,
That
for
boss
sure.
fight is awful. Oh my god,
Yeah.
I have flashbacks to trying to beat him.
Boy, howdy. So yeah.
But-
So yeah, if you want to keep up with any of that, at EJSpun61, go find me there. EJSpun61 underscores the Twitch, but I try to keep the brand as close as I can. So it is what it is.
Yeah, everyone, you're gonna want to follow Emmett soon, because with season 9 of Apex Legends coming up, we're gonna get a lot more Titanfall stuff. So
Oh, yeah.
Bro.
make sure you're following him for that, because I'm ready. I got to finish up my battle pass on
we-
season 8 of Apex.
When is that?
So-
When is
It's
the
almost time?
when is the new
Yo,
season
I
dropping?
got the pilot helmet with me.
May 4th, I think.
Oh,
I really
word.
need to get the pilot helmet. I really do.
So in
Guys,
the
really?
words of Emmett, everyone, you know what to do. Follow.
You know
follow
what?
him.
Funny you say that. Someone tweeted that Titanfall 2 is on sale on Xbox
You
for
gotta
like
do it.
$4 right now.
Oh,
You gotta
So
do it.
like, go scoop that up. And people already put the meme with it. I don't even have to do it anymore. They know to get my
You
meme
know
out.
what to do, everyone.
No, your
Yeah,
meme is
man.
literally like internet iconic at this point.
Oh, absolutely.
Hell
Just
yeah.
You are to Titanfall what Cameron is to Kingdom Hearts. So,
100%.
And also what Ruben is to Spider-Man Far From Home.
okay, no, Ruben, no. We're talking
CFO,
about
man.
Way
Cam,
howdy.
what you got for us?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at CamFinalMix, and I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/CamFinalMix. And I got something coming out late. When's this episode come out? When's this drop?
This is dropping live, bro. Like,
This is drop- Oh, okay.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know if you release it on podcast feed too.
yeah, tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. I got something coming out later this week on a relative big on a big website. So you know I can't say what it is or where
He's
it
getting
is,
married
but
again.
It's coming. No, I'm getting married.
I'm getting married to GameSpot.
I am getting married in. So that's cool.
In what?
and
Sorry,
yeah,
you got
so-
cut out.
Say that again.
I'm
You
getting
cut out
married
right
in
there.
less than a month.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit.
Okay.
I thought it was
Awesome.
June.
Yeah,
This
May
soon?
8th. May
Oh
8th.
shoot!
Yep.
It's
Man,
so
wow.
exciting.
So. and I'm
Congrats.
telling y'all, like I got a
I'm-
custom made suit, and y'all ain't ready for the drip. Like,
Oh shit. Oh
I-
shit.
I'm
Is
not,
the Kingdom
I'm
Hearts
not-
related?
I was about to say.
He can't confirm nor deny.
I'm not like super like I honestly like am not super about like I don't think I'm a great looking guy, but I do think that like in this suit I'm just like okay, let's go.
Yeah, man.
What
Shit
is-
Mountain. Let's go.
What is drip if not sauce persevering?
God damn it, Eric.
All right.
God damn it. All right.
I miss Vishawn so
And this
much. I'm sorry,
podcast never
everyone.
happened.
I respect that. That was a good reference.
But no, everyone, I can say that Cameron is fantastic. Please follow his stuff. One of the bright newcomers in the video game industry. Please hire him, whatever you want to do. His work is
And-
fantastic.
Listen to Podcasts Unlocked. It's a good show.
It's
Yeah.
not on Unlocked anymore, but you should listen to Unlocked anyway.
Okay.
Yeah,
Damn, I
Great
it was,
episode
only, it
with,
was only for like 10 weeks. It was like for 10 weeks. It was a
Ah,
a
okay.
thing.
That's,
But I might
I
come
got you.
back later. Like that. Like I'm not in talks about it, but I might come back later.
you were
Okay.
great. You had a fantastic run. So again, like your hard work is definitely noticed, Cameron. You're doing a fantastic job.
And yesterday on Awesomely Average was fantastic as well.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Yep. I was
That's the
on
reference
that.
I should have said. Yeah,
Christian, what about you, my friend?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter and Twitch at IsoChristian. But the biggest thing I want to plug here is if you have the means to get vaccinated, you should do so because it's free and it's subsidized by the government. No excuses.
Yep.
Let's do that.
Wednesday's my day, baby.
Thursday,
First
my
shot,
go.
First shot or
Oh,
second
fuck
shot?
yeah.
What's
First
that?
shot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get my
Come
second
May
shot this-
14th,
I get my-
I'm gonna have so much ruthless sex in this room.
I get my.
Oh my
God.
I'm kidding. I have no one lined up, but this only.
You got no one like.
He's got Pamela. He's got Pamela.
Oh my god.
Ruth
Nah,
Pamela.
I've been talking real spicy on the internet the last year, so it's about time that I either nut up or shut up, or nut up.
He's getting the big surprise announcement for him. Chloe and Haley is going to show up for him. So
Oh my
Oh my
god.
god! Could you imagine?
Let's not even like put thoughts into my head to then hype me up and then reality disappoint me. So I'm just gonna cancel that right there.
anyway, again, I am Eric Segan on Twitter, usually doing stuff for Penultimate Conquest, Marvel Mondays, my favorite thing to do now. That's what I look forward to most each week. So thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe on the Penultimate Conquest on Twitter and YouTube. What, Ruben?
I mean, I don't get a plug, but okay.
Oh, well, I guess you came in like.
Speaking of
I
ruthless,
mean, I'm still here though. Like shit. Okay.
Sorry, I forgot.
No, that's okay. It's okay. I'm just messing with you.
You came off the bench. Totally forgot about that. But you
That's
know what?
okay.
Bill Murray also came up off the bench
That's
from
right.
Space Jam 1, and he won the game.
That's right.
She
I'm
has
the Bill
won the
Murray
game, I
of the
should say.
Penultimate
So,
Conquest. I appreciate it.
Ruben, what do you got, buddy?
So you did mention at the top of the show that tomorrow's episode of the Cross Media Show is Disney Plus premiere problems and Netflix buys Knives Out. But we are not talking trailers tomorrow. That's next week.
Okay, gotcha.
So
Thank you.
No problem.
Get wrecked, dude.
Yeah.
It's like around the horn right now, and pardon the interruption, just the errors that we had throughout the episode.
Yeah, that's
bringing
okay.
them up.
That's all right.
So-
kind of a flex that he used this plug time to just dunk on you like that.
I mean,
It's
come on.
what-
I got to keep Eric humble, you know? I got to keep Eric humble.
And he does that all the time,
Yeah.
but that's why
I love you,
him.
Eric.
But
I
anyway,
love you. Okay.
thank you everyone so much. Cameron, Emmett, thank you for showing up. Thank you for joining us on this episode. It's really great to have you guys again. You and Kyle, some of the best people on the internet, and so we are lucky to have you guys on the show. If you ever want to come back, please let us know. You'll be welcome
Will do.
back with open arms. So until next week, everyone, Excelsior.